So for everybody, you know what I'm saying, just checking me out, thank you, for joining. We got about 126 people live on the air. This is a live stream, one of the first, syndicated cryptocurrency productions in the world. Shout out to the fam. This is the #1 Bitcoin group in the world right here. 200,000 members. Growing every day. We have an awesome, amazing group of mods too. Mr. 305 Market Ranger, Ms. 90 Crypto, in the chat right now. Thank you for everything that you do for us. What I wanted to do, you guys, I had a plan to, have a big, dissertation on the market and try to speak some knowledge into these, into this speaker. But that wasn't in the cards, apparently. This computer sucks. I have an Apple MacBook ProBook. What is it? MacBook Pro? Garbage. It sucks for live streaming. So after this computer, after this video, I'm going straight up to the mall, dropping about $4,000 cash on the counter and saying, give me the best machine you got. That will be Microsoft. Microsoft, if you suck, I will be back 2 weeks later with the receipt in hand to return that piece of trash as well. I'm trying to find a new computer. I do a lot of live streaming, a lot of, multimedia production, and this computer's garbage. So I'm done with it. I got cash money. I'm going up to the mall, buying me a new one, and I'm starting there. So I just wanted to make this one quick to turn over a new leaf, so to speak, and close an old one. And so what we're going to do right now, I think the information I have is still pretty valuable, and that's the only reason I came on the air and didn't just, delay it until tomorrow, because, there are dips and swings and bounces in the market. And so what I want to do is jump over to TradingView right now. Good processor and good memory. Yes, i7. Let me write this stuff down. i7 processor. What kind of RAM do I need for this new computer? i7 processor. Where can I get a good Linux computer? Build a desktop. Let us help. I'm an IT guy. Oh, Micro Center. Yeah, I know Micro Center. They got one in Atlanta too. Huh. So what if I go to Micro Center, what kind of computer should I get? Because I might do that instead. I need a desktop. I don't care about mobile. I can keep this piece of trash for when I sleep in a hotel, but I need a desktop. We'll jump on a chart. Somebody said waves. We'll jump on that one. I haven't looked at waves in a while. And I'm reading the chart too, but the chat too. So go ahead and let me know what kind of machine you think would be best. I got i7, 16 GB. We got that. I'm not doing a Mac again, so it looks like Linux is leading the pack. Is KNC, does that have a chart? Let me just give you a quick 30-second wave synopsis. It's getting there. The waves is getting there. I think I did this about a week ago and said waves is really wavy. But what's happening is this is actually coming up on a continuation pattern, just like Litecoin, right? The next one should be pretty big too. This is actually a really good chart. Wave Rider, I like your name. That's pretty cool. So this is a 77-minute. The reason I'm using a 77-minute is because a lot of the data that we have in the past 3 weeks is very important. I don't need to go back, 3 months or 6 months to look at the whole cycle, the whole sequence. I'm zooming down in time to about, 3 to 6 weeks worth of data to understand what's happening. So a 77 is pretty good for doing that, right? One of the things I see here, if we just look at this chart real quick, there's a couple key areas, right, this was one key area right there that kind of began, you know, that little breakout we had. That was another one where we confirmed it, right? Probably right there where we confirmed it. And then we broke down, right? And we broke down, we confirmed our breakdown right there, right? One of the things you can note on a 77 is a lot of times you don't even need the 7. You can make most of your assessments and assumptions from the intersection between the 77 and the 231, right? So while this one is a little bit off, we could have put it there, but I like to anchor it into the moment where the 77 changed direction, right? So for right here, we have that intersection right there. We have that minimum point right there. And then we have that maximum point. You can't see it, it's hidden, but it's actually a double maximum between the 231 and the 77. That essentially is giving us all the information we need, right? We do have a local high point right up in here. You're going to see that we can triangulate this whole thing just from those 2 points. So if we go bam, bam, what do we got? And this is the 77 and a 231. It's not what I normally do, but it still holds pretty well. And so what do we see? We see that we broke down on the 3-2, right? And now we're consolidating right on top of that 1-6. That's a good signal, right? The longer we spend riding that green energy, especially, we almost got like a little mini confirmation here, right? To where we did like a bottom right there, came back right down, bottom right there. For those of you that know classical formations, a double bottom is a pretty good signal, right? Bottom, bottom, top. So I can see this thing easily going up on this next little round to the 4-6 or 4-2. It's almost inverted a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. Because you don't normally get that much in one sequence. And by that much, I mean, we basically have these 2 points, 1 and 2. And from those 2 points, you can almost still sketch out this whole graph, right? I can get 3 by coming back down to the 7-8-6. I can get 4 by confirming the 1-6. I can get 5 by falling on the 3-2. And now I'm getting 6 by confirming the 1-6 again, right? So what does that mean? That means when we do something like that, that's going to be a little bit of a hard point, but once we clear it, it shouldn't be too much. And then we'll do something like that, right? Just the same as, and that's what I was looking for, a similar situation. It would be just the same as what we did right there, right? So you just copy and paste that. Line it up over there. Once we're ready to turn around, I don't think we're ready to turn around yet. I think we might drop a little bit more actually, but once that happens, it should be somewhere around there. When will we turn around? Let's check that out, because it's not a matter of if, but when with a lot of these things. So we do this, boom, boom, break out, break down. Flatline. I think that's it. There you go. Good. So that's it right there. All I did is I took the cycle lines from the first 2 intersections, 0.1 and 0.3, and that gives us this breakout pattern right here. That's a positive, right? That's a negative. This is going to be a positive. So we're going to look to rebound. We're going to have some positive energy coming into this one. Right around a little bit earlier, it looks like, right around the 2nd week of February, February 10th, probably to the 12th. I'll err on the side of caution with a lot of these charts here. Probably somewhere around there. We should get a nice bottom to turn over on, right? And we can, once we fill it, more or less once we cross that 2.4, we can expect to ride this thing all the way up, more than likely, to the 4.6, right? Because you notice you don't need a full cycle. We didn't use like a full cycle to fill that. That was really like half cycle. So with that being said, we could even delay it a little bit to right there. And that would almost guarantee us lock us into it. And that's right around 216, 218, somewhere in there. So that's a rough chart for waves. What you'll find with a lot of these charts is we're basically in limbo. We're either off the high of a continuation or we're near the low of a continuation. Both are pretty good. You know, if you assume that the market's going to recover, more money is going to flow back into Bitcoin, and these alts will ultimately benefit as a result, right? My man Wave Rider said, looks like it finished a complete cycle on the 4-hour chart if you zoom out. All right, we'll go to the 343. Let's check the 4-hour. Yeah. Yeah, so this was like a huge, 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 wow. And that's why I said it's going to be big. Didn't I say that early on? Because it's like it's stepping up. You know what I'm saying? So the 4.6, honestly, that's a minimum high. That's just going to get us back there. I didn't even know that. You know, that was like a little bounce zone. But what's going to happen after that? It's probably going to jump into a continuation on top of that one to climb this mountain, right? To go back somewhere up there, right? So yeah, this is definitely like on a new cycle. It's just broke out a little bit. Bitcoin went down, so it dropped, and now it's kind of setting that new cliff so it could gain some traction and keep going. It's forming a continuation breakout pattern, right? And so what I saw initially was that what we're doing is we're setting higher highs, and that's great, right? So if we wanted to look at this thing, I can rewind this real quick. We got some pretty good data right there, but let's call this point up here 0.1, right? Color that thing like purple or something. And then we can call this point 0.2 for our higher highs. And this is like a macro cycle. So this will just give us like the general levels that we want to ascend to on a quicker scale. And we lock those intersections in where the 77 broke down against it. So we get a negative going into it. That will give us a positive high with a negative breakdown coming out of it. Look at that, like a boss one time. You know what I'm saying? I just hit a nail on the head at the 4.6, right where we said we were going to plan for off that high, right? Off that blue bar right there. That's how it works, you guys. It's just that easy. Fractal harmonics, collective conscious, you know, and a little bit of wherewithal to anchor into the intersections. That's how you do it right there. So this thing is gearing up for some major money, right? It's a good coin to have probably for the next 6 months. I think you probably just ride it out. If you like it, just ride it out, you know, forget about it. And, you know, it should be pretty good till you probably right around the middle of the summer, you know, June, July. This should definitely have a second win. So there you go. That's waves. It's pretty good. Very good chart. Very good chart. 2 levels. That mid level right there, that's going to be the first ascension. You know, once we confirm that, then it's going to gain some real deal traction to shoot for that 17.5, right? Just like Jeezy. This is 17.5. 1775. Oh, 1775. All right, cool. There you go. Again, if this is your first time watching these videos, I do have a playlist set up called Chart Like a Boss. All you got to do, go to google.com, type in Chart Like a Boss. I own the #1 spot, you know, on that list. And it's a playlist about 24 videos from the past 6 months. And I really walk through this methodology. It's free knowledge. This is educational content. I leverage every aspect of fair use, you know, in providing this content to you guys. I also have gone through the due diligence of patent protecting and trademarking my intellectual property. So if you are a profit-seeking entity, you may not use it. If you are a person, I give it to you for free. It's my gift to you because unfortunately, you were sold into bondage long before you appeared on this earth. This method, however, can be your liberation. One of the things I wanted to talk about specifically on this video was the fact that when everything is pointing in one direction, the intelligent thing to do is to stop, look around, right? And so what we have, and to be honest, I just look at the top 20 coins a lot of times just to get my general assessment of what's happening in the market. But what we see right here, if you just, you know, focus in on one area of this page, you don't want to give it to me? What's going on? Coin market cap. Oh, it's still loading up. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? I gotta talk between my teeth sometimes, but hopefully, you know, if you're listening, you hear exactly what I'm saying. So if you just look at this part of the website, 24/7, that's a huge discrepancy, right? That's not good. That's not sustainable. You don't get any type of natural market to where a day ago, everything was up. Couldn't go wrong. You know, even Stevie Wonder could have hit a home run in that market. Versus a week ago, you couldn't catch a break, right? It doesn't work like that. That is not the sign of a natural market. That's not the sign of a healthy market. What that is the sign of a pattern, right? 7 days ago, everything broke down. 1 day ago, everything went up. What we learn is that the momentum of the past often weighs in upon the future, the present, and the present in turn weighs on the future, right? 1 + 2 = 3, right? So what this means, you guys, ultimately is that we are not done going down. Do not think that you made, you know, 10, 12% on your portfolio today. Guess what? You were down 60% from 2 weeks. So that 10 or 12, that's not, you know, the signs of health. That's the signs of a confirmation, right? That's like a death cough. You know what I'm saying? It's like the eye of a hurricane, right? It gets real calm, like right in the middle, and then bam, you know what I'm saying? Wipe out the rest of the village. And that's what we got right now. This is just a brief bounce to continue into a downward trajectory. I've done a few videos already pretty accurately. For Bitcoin, I expect that to be between 6,800 and 7,500. We may get a candle in there as low as 58, but don't expect it to last very long. That will get bought up just like that. If you're lucky enough to get it in at 58, 54, by all means, you know what I'm saying, put that money down. Again, I talk about this a lot, but unfortunately, this is not a free and fair market, right? I think as people, we want things to be free and fair, but they are not. The reason is because people don't have any money. Institutions do, businesses do, banks do, hedge funds do, you know, billionaires do. People don't. If you're still trading your time for an hourly wage and a 401k and $20 an hour plus benefits, you know, healthcare, then you more than likely you don't have a lot of money. And that's just the reality of the game. But when you're an entity, when you're an institution, when you build supply channels and distribution channels and fulfillment centers, then you get some real deal volume, and then you ultimately get some real deal financial accommodations. That's how that happens. Because the institutions talk to each other, they communicate to each other. In Notre Dame, we would call it, they signal to each other. Basically, their intention, because they don't really want to compete with each other because it's expensive to compete. So they would rather collaborate essentially on a consensus decision, right? And leave people like me and you in the dark, stuck like Chuck, trying to figure it out, right? And so that's why you never, ever, ever want to trust the general trend of a market, especially if they're pointing in opposite directions like this. That's not a good situation. We use the momentum, the quick and the slow. On my video today with my Patreon group, I called it the quick money and the long money, right? We let the quick money lead the long money, and then we beat the quick money, right? To their claim and their stake, right? And because we're so infinitesimally small compared to these huge whales, right? I call them dinosaurs. You know, a lot of these big businesses, Crapple being one of them, is a dinosaur because as far as I'm concerned, they big, you know, they ugly, they old, and they pretty soon they about to be extinct, right? As soon as this blockchain is built out and people can actually distribute, you know, and facilitate the transmission of value amongst themselves without having to rely on some green piece of paper with some dead guy's face on it from 400 years ago. Until that happens, they're still in, you know, pretty good state. But when that happens, their days are numbered, and they realize this. The blockchain unites us at the bottom. We don't need a centralized authority. We don't need an interest rate. We don't need to trade 35 years of our life for a 401k and an 8% match in order to get ahead. We have created a uniform, unilateral consensus protocol that allows us to transmit value anywhere, everywhere, forever, without any of that. So do not let the bobbleheads on TV tell you any different. Do not let some, I saw this one video. I got really, really upset. I don't normally get upset, but I got like, I could see, because, you know, when you just sit back and watch, and that's what I do. A lot of times I just go places. Like I just go to, I remember being in the middle of New York, in one of their malls downtown, and I just sat there for like 20 minutes and I just watched people, you know. But when you can see the intentional manipulation and misinformation of the content that is disseminated through these multinational conglomerates, then you can begin to grasp the level of intentional destruction that is being done to the general population. This is why they're selling it to us right now, because they knew that Christmas Day, we were all going to run around the country, tell our mama, our daddy, our grandma, our best friend, our brother to buy Bitcoin. It's only $19,000. Please buy it. What they do after that? People don't have money. Institutions do. Institutions talk to each other. They work together. They buy each other out. Why would I break you down if I plan to buy you out? Then I got to rebuild it. That don't make any sense. They get free money. They do leveraged buyouts to where one gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then all of a sudden they're too big to fail. And, you know, they pretty much do what they want. That's the problem with capitalism. But ultimately, we realize that, and we use that against them. As long as they have all the money, then we have all the power, because money is useless if you don't have somebody on the other end willing to accept it, right? Because we have the masses, we have the choice on what transmission vehicle we want to facilitate this transfer. It doesn't have to be this. You understand that? There are many other vehicles right now. And as more and more people cross that one-way bridge, I call that the blockchain bridge right there. You know what I'm saying? You got Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, TD Ameritrade, JP Morgan, Charles Schwab, 118 different Fortune 500 companies that have been anchored in creating debt, depression, and deception on this green piece of paper. Their days are numbered, because the more people that cross that bridge, cross over to that blockchain, never return. And they understand this. This is basic economics. Every dollar that goes across that bridge by design disappears. They can't fractionally reserve it. They can't lend against it. It's not in their monetary distribution anymore. It literally dissolves and disappears. Value is not created or destroyed. It merely transforms from one form to another. And right now we got 400 billion incremental units of value over there. And I guarantee you it's going to double before the end of May. We will break $1 trillion before June 1st. Mark my words. And so I just wanted to let you guys know not to be disinformed. You know, don't think this is the bottom and you should dump your life savings into it. We're going down another 10, 20%, but probably inside of 2 weeks, we'll bottom out. And then China's going to come back with a vengeance, buy up the bottom. And then the US banks are going to be struggling, trying to figure out, you know, if they want to keep the Ponzi scheme known as a stock market going, or if they want to pay, you know, a little bit more of a premium on this BTC, you know, since everybody across the pond is already doing it. This is how we win. 7 and 77. As long as they have all the money, we have all the power because we have a choice. Up until now, haven't had a choice. This was given to you. You know, you trade 2 weeks of your life and they pay you a few handfuls of these guys and you say, thank you. And then they look at you after about 2 years and they say, you know what? We like what you're doing. We're gonna give you 1/10 more. We're gonna give you a 5% raise, right? You look at it, you say, dang. You say, yes, I won. What did you win? More debt, death, and depression. Don't do it. Change your values, change your worth. And together, the collective would be a lot better off. That's all I wanted to say really on this one. I didn't know it was going to go in that direction. But this is the opportunity at hand, right? This is why the knowledge I'm giving you guys is only worth 20,000 views to YouTube, because apparently Paul Logan and any crazy swinging dick they got out there, you know, dumbing the population down, they gas them up to the top. They get 1 million views overnight. You know, I've been dropping knowledge for about 6 months straight. Almost 200 videos, got 20,000 subscribers. But guess what? I'm cool with that. We building, you know, we building something here. So I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your time. I apologize for the, you know, delay earlier tonight. I'm about to drop 4 Gs at Microsoft. Tell them, give me your best machine. If I don't like it, I'll be back next week. Give me my money back. And at the end of the day, we do need to be positive. It's a messed up situation, you guys, but I think we can see our way out of it. You know, and that's why I stress to you, we need to come together. We need to come together. We need to come together. Don't listen to the bobbleheads on TV. They will divide us apart, divide and conquer. We need to come together, right? Don't accept whatever label they give you, because the minute you step inside that box, those 4 walls is all that exists. People will say, oh, you're a millennial, liberal, volunteerism, I have no idea. I think they literally just play Scrabble, you know, and have little bits of words put together and just pick one. They just, bam, hit the dice and bam, 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 bam. Oh, okay, good. We'll go with that word. That's a new word. They make up a new word every week. So we have to rise above that. We have to ascend, you know, above that, right? And then we can understand the uniform collective that lies within every single one of us. Ms. 90 Crypto, thank you. Get a receipt, yeah. And keep the box too. I don't think they let you return it if you ain't got the box, but I gotta go. Till we meet again, stay cryptic, y'all. Thank you so much again. Bossofbitcoin.com for all the crypto resources and tools. #1 Facebook group in the world. And I'll be back tomorrow on the flip side. Stay cryptic, y'all. Peace.